Hello, drafters. World. Hello, drafters. World. Hello, drafters. World. Ad break. Ad break. Hello, drafters. I'm Felonyus. Hello, drafters. Thanks for being here. I'm Felonyus. Give me a like and a subscribe or a follow, whatever it is that you're watching me on if you haven't already. And today we're doing some MTG Arena Draft. Today we're doing some Cube Draft specifically. Foundations comes out tomorrow, so we can't play that. In the meantime, we'll get our fill of Cube, because Cube is awesome. It's gone tomorrow, so we got one more day to Cube. Let's do it. I've had a lot of success. Echo. I'm the worst. A lot of success. A lot of failure, actually, with my echoes. Ah! Let's start over. Hello, world. I'm Felonious. Throw me a like and a subscribe, or a follow if you haven't already. And thanks for being here. We're doing some Cube Draft. I'm no longer echoing. I'm excited to play Foundations tomorrow, but Cube is awesome, so we'll get as much Cube in as we can. And then at the end of... tomorrow, we'll play some Foundations. Play a bunch of Sealed. Probably do 3 or 4 Sealed pools over the next couple days. Totally hit ready. It's a lie. Why didn't anybody else hit ready for me? You guys can click it, right? imagine if you had user interaction with the untapped extension. So I've had a lot of success in Cube just forcing red-white lately. This pack doesn't really look like a forced red-white kind of pack. I see a Gear Hulk and an Air Tie, and I like them both. Probably going to take one of those. I'm a big fan of the Torrential Gear Hulk. It's a nice card to pick early just because you can build around it quite well. However, Air Tie is really strong, and I like playing blue-black a lot. And Teferi's okay. I don't think he's that strong. You have Make Disappear, pretty good blue common. I'm not going to first pick it though, especially when I really just want to play red-white if I can. Between Air Tie and the Torrential Gear Hulk, I think there's a chance I could wheel the Air Tie, maybe. There's also a chance I could wheel the Gear Hulk. Air Tie is quite tempting. I do like playing the blue-black deck, and it is a nice way to curve it out. But we're going to start with Gear Hulk, because sometimes you get to play red, white, blue, and get like a Magma Opus and other things to go with the Gear Hulk. Yawgmoth. Pack 1, pick 2. That is tempting. Or Gix, not Yawgmoth, sorry. I do very much like Gix. No, it doesn't perform nearly as well as he used to in this cube. It's a fine card to be taking early, though. I do like to be in blue-black, but I didn't take that Air Tie, so I'm a little less interested in that. Fairy Mastermind is probably my pick here. Possibly the Xander's Lounge. I like these flash 2-drop flyers. I don't really want to commit to Gix this early. I'm going to take Xander's Lounge. It's just going to help us cast all the spells that we want to with this Torrential Gear Hulk. Here we go. We have an Agent of Rafine, a 3 Steps Ahead, a Stoic Sphinx. I very much like Agent of Rafine. It does die a lot. 3 Steps Ahead is actually something we can cast with our Torrential Gear Hulk, but you have to spend more for it, so it's not quite a combo. Sanguine Evangelist is really good. We haven't seen a whole lot of good white in the past 2 packs, so this is some incentive to move into white. I might just take this Agent of Rafine. Sanguine Evangelist is so good. I don't really want to pass all these blue cards with the plan to play blue, but Evangelist just wins so many games. And like I said, I really just want to play red-white if I can. So I'm going to take that and see where things lead us, because I'm happy to play white-blue. Sublime Epiphany is a very good card, and it works quite well with the Torrential Gear Hulk. Quite well. Time Warp's okay. I'd like to wheel like the Ketria Triome or maybe Time Warp or Disdainful Stroke out of this pack. I'm going to take the Sublime Epiphany. Okay, I see a Get Lost in the white-blue department. I see a Burn Down the House as well. I like this card a lot. Vendilion Click is okay. Not my favorite card to be playing in Cube. I think it's a little bit weak. Get Lost is going to be a fine card in your control decks. And it's an instant that I can recast with Torrential Gear Hulk. I also see Zimone here, but I think I'm more interested in playing the Sanguine Evangelist. So I'm going to take Get Lost over this Burn Down the House, or this Journey to Nowhere, this Blink of an Eye. See if we can move into a white-blue control shell. A few solid options here. Elspeth's actually not bad. She's expensive. But she's okay. I like Reckoner Bankbuster a lot, especially in a control deck. It's good with Gix, too, as it turns out. Portable Hole and Unable to Scream are also here, and those are quite good in your white-blue control decks. Maybe I'll take that Unable to Scream just because it's a good, cheap removal piece. But I want this Reckoner Bankbuster. We'll take Unable to Scream, see if we can wheel one of the other cards. Alright, well, we're getting cards to move into a white-blue control deck. Getting this Wrath of God, pick 7, getting past Sublime Epiphany and Get Lost. There's also a Silent Hall Creeper. As cool as that card is, and as powerful as it is in Duskmourn, it's not necessarily a standout cube player. Unnerving Grasp is really good. It'd be cool if we could wheel that, but I doubt it. We'll probably wheel this to Deuce. I'm going to take Wrath of God over Unnerving Grasp. Here we go. Fading Hope. That's an instant. That's a really good control card. Iganjo is strong. It would be nice to have Iganjo, but Fading Hope is just so good in this set. You get to bounce back the really expensive creatures people cheat into play with treasures or what have you. Push through your last points of damage or whatever you need to do. Alright, Make Disappear. It's probably our pick here over this Teferi, over this Mikaeus. You like the 2-drop counter spells in your white-blue control deck, and Teferi is very replaceable, in my opinion. He just doesn't have that much of an impact. So, Make Disappear it is. There we go, that's a nice wheel. Horned Lockwhale is quite strong. It's another 6-drop that we can play in place of Sublime Epiphany or the Gear Hulk, so it fits on the curve well. It's also a 2-drop removal spell. Choices. Wingbright Thief seems pretty good, but 3 Steps Ahead is a premium counterspell. I'm going to take 3 Steps Ahead over the Wingbright Thief. Then I'll take this Thundering Falls, another way to splash red in case we decide we want to do that. It's better than the Restless Reef because it's searchable and it surveils. Alright, burn down the house. Well, I don't want a Subterranean Schooner, so I'll take that on the wheel. Another potential board wipe. We're not necessarily planning to play red, but hey look, the Deduce. I had a feeling I would wheel that. I'm cold. That'll do the trick. What do we have here? I like 3 Tree Battalion a lot, but probably not in this deck. I mean, it does help me find Sanguine Evangelist, but I don't have any other creatures. Esper Sentinel, I wonder how that performs. I don't play it much in Cube, but it's probably fine. Do I want to take it over this Meticulous Archive, though? I could wheel the Archive over this Esper Sentinel. I think Esper Sentinel might actually be pretty good in a control deck, just in the mirrors, and as another creature to block with if I have to. I'm just going to take the Meticulous Archive. I want to make sure I can cast all my spells easy. Overlord over a Ledger Shredder, over a Scarab God. There's also a Detective's Phoenix in this pack. This card's really strong. But we're going to take this Overlord of the Mistmoors. That looks like a pretty good piece for control. 4 mana, make some flyers. Reanimates itself after I wipe the board. Okay. Haven Interrupter is a card. I haven't played with it a whole lot in Cube. I haven't played with it a whole lot in Cube, but it does kind of fill our curve. It fills the same role that our 3 mana counter spells do. I'm looking at that or this Ornithopter of Paradise. I think I'm a little bit more interested in the Haven Interrupter. I'm going to actually try this card. I think it'll be fine in a white blue control deck, especially when I'm casting so many things at instant speed. As far as headquarters over this Brainstorm, I think. I don't like Brainstorm very much in Cube. I suppose it's fine when you have fetches, but meh. We're going to take the dual land. Alright, here are some good options here. Wedding Announcement looks very tempting, but Repulse is one of the best cards with Gearhulk. And Repulse just happens to be really good in this cube. I wonder if I want it over Wedding Announcement, though. I don't think I do. I think I might be able to wield a Repulse. I wield this Make Disappear. I wield this 3 steps ahead. I'm going to hope I can wield a Repulse, too. I see that Inferno Titan I could possibly play, but I don't really need anything like that. Settle the Wreckage does some cool stuff. Getaway Glamour looks kind of weird. I think I might just take this Field of the Dead. I'm getting close to having a number of lands where I can actually make it work. Settle the Wreckage is pretty good. It's not great, but it's going to be fine in my control deck when I'm playing so many instants, and recasting it with Gearhulk could be pretty game-breaking. Thousand Moons Smithy doesn't look like what we need. Oh. Estra's Invocation can copy Overlord of the Mistmoors and just come into play as a creature. It can also copy the Wedding Announcement and the Unable to Scream. I'm just going to take it because I don't plan to play anything else there. Restoration Angel over this Ruby Collector. Ruby Collector coming around this late. It did not look like red-white is that open. Yeah, actually Restoration Angel could be pretty powerful in this deck. We're running... I wish I had some more cheap cards. Wingbright Thief would have been nice, but I'm happy we have the 3 steps ahead. Spyglass Siren over the Cryptic Coat. Cryptic Coat, I don't know, it doesn't really excite me. But I do like Spyglass Siren. Housemeld, Scarab God. We do have a Black Splash. Housemeld seems fine, but expensive. I'm going to take it, because it can get some really powerful things on occasion. I've had an opponent like steal my Legion Warboss, the 3-drop red guy, so they just got a Goblin every turn. I've seen somebody steal an Overlord of the Mistmoors. Imagine stealing a Torrential Gearhulk. I'm going to take this Prismari command, because I actually do have some red splash over this Hard Evidence, probably. You know, I need Hard Evidence. I don't have anything cheap, so I might need to protect myself with something like that. Alright, I did not wield a Repulse, but we wield this Kitsa. I don't think she's very good, but I don't want to play Consider. Wheeling Field of the Dead. That's cool. Okay. Fateful Absence. Someone's taken to Fairy, probably. Unless it's in this pack. Fateful Absence or an unidentified hover ship. I know the hover ship is pretty strong. The hover ship has been overperforming in this cube. Maybe I should take that, but I just like the idea of 2-drop instants. Since my deck looks a little expensive right now, I'm going to take the Fateful Absence. Steaming Sauna fits our possible red splash. Though there is a repeal here. Repeal is definitely good. Do I really need a Roaring Furnace? I mean, it seems like it could be fine. It is an enchantment, but I don't think coming into play as a copy of the enchantment. Oh no, I can cast it as that rune. Alright, let's take that. Just in case we do end up getting enough red to make it work. Ooh, look at all these good cards. No More Lies, Tamiyo. Tamiyo is quite strong. Tamiyo or No More Lies? That's a tough choice. The chances that we wheel the No More Lies, I don't think are incredibly high. I gotta take Tamiyo. She's too good. Can end up getting Sublime Epiphany back into my hand sometimes. I'm gonna take this Hallowed Fountain without really thinking. I want my dual lands. Plus I have this Field of the Dead. It'd be nice to wheel this Flood Pits Drowner. Or the Iron Crag, we'll see. Okay, Lingering Souls with this Xander's Lounge. It would have been nice if I had picked up one more free black source along the way. There's also this Brain Surge that's going to help me draw into my good removal. Or Tashana's Tidebinder. I've seen Tashana's Tidebinder do some nasty things to people. I think I'm more interested in the Lingering Souls, though. I'm going to try Tashana's Tidebinder. Go with this Resto. Go with all of the instant speed things that we're doing. Stoneforge Mystic. I don't have any equipment. I haven't seen the Aegis yet, though. Thundertrap Trainer might just be a better choice for us since we have so many non-creatures. I'm just going to take Spirited Companion. Warzone Duplicator is possible to include. Ooh, nice wheel on the hover ship. Wheeling the Repeal. I didn't wheel No More Lies. Got a Veteran Survivor or a Spell Pierce. Guess I'll take Spell Pierce. I'm not sure it'll make its way into the deck, but... what was the other enchantment we got? Yeah, Spirited Companion is another enchantment that we can copy with Estrid's Invocation. I'm not sure that's going to make it into the deck, though. We do have several cuts to make. Lots of instants, lots of creatures with flash. This is not my favorite deck I've drafted, but it doesn't look bad. So wheel on the Flood Pits Drowner, I'm happy to see that. Wheel on the Brain Surge. Yeah, we didn't take the Lingering Souls. I don't think I need this isolated chapel. Wheeling a Thunder Trap Trainer. Alright. Well. This looks alright. What are our cuts gonna look like? Let's see our counter spells and our interruption. What kind of removal we're working with. Is it between... I don't know if Thunder Trap Trainer is going to be quite good enough. The fail case on that is pretty bad. Only looking at the top 4. Floodpit's Drowner is more instant speed interaction. I guess I don't need a Spyglass Siren. I don't have a ton of counter spells. Spell Pierce might indeed be fine. And in the fact that because I don't have that many counter spells, I think that makes House Meld a little bit better. I'll have to let things resolve on occasion. Let's see, mass removal, bounce spells, hill spells. That's not bounce. Janna's Tidebinder's a unique one. We'll count that as a creature. I wonder if this Ornithopter of Paradise... No, I don't have enough 2-drops. Spell Pierce is not my favorite card. Restoration Angel is going to be pretty good with our Floodpit's Drowner and our Spirited Companion and our Sanguine Evangelist and our Tidebinder and our Interrupter. And maybe Ornithopter of Paradise can be cut. Most often it's probably just going to die to something, and I'd probably just keep my cards and rather play more lands in this control deck. Alright, so we have to make one more cut. Not a land. I'm going to take Settle the Wreckage over. Do I even want to play it? Yeah, probably. We like Settle the Wreckage enough. We got rid of the spell Pierce. Let's see, how much do I really need Kitsa? Kitsa does block and get larger when I cast non-creature spells, so probably fine. I guess it's between this Tidebinder, this Settle the Wreckage, Interrupter. Kitsa. I think House Meld is going to be pretty good. It's expensive, but I just feel like it's going to be able to hit something big, like somebody's Grenzo or a Traxa maybe, and just refill my hand or whatever I need. Even Interrupter is another counterspell. I don't want to cut that. Settle the Wreckage is probably the worst card, if I'm being honest. There's also Kitsa, and I just don't have that many 2-drops to work with. Playing Fateful Absence and get lost on your opponent's 2-drops, not necessarily the kind of thing you want to be doing. Maybe I do just cut the Settle the Wreckage. But giving my opponent extra lands will have diminishing returns for them. Shana's Tidebinder. You know, I think I am just going to cut Kitsa. We have a bunch of 1-drops to go with our 2s, and our 3-drops are strong. Tashana might underperform. If Tashana performs poorly, then we'll take her out for one of these 2-drops. These lands do not look right. What's going on here? 4 islands? There we go. 1, 2, 3... I've got 6, 7, 8, 9 white sources. I guess I don't need this Xander's Lounge at all, do I? It has no benefit whatsoever. Yeah, but Xander's Lounge does nothing other than help trigger Field of the Dead. I guess it's something I can cycle away on occasion. But I could also just, like, cut these cards and make my mana better. I don't get a whole lot of benefit from that Field of the Dead. And the chances of me actually getting all of these lands out are pretty low, especially without any fetch lands. Alright, this looks solid. Let's run it. Let me look one more time. Do we want one more island? 7, 8, 9, 10. One more island to play all these 1-drops with. We have a lot of double white pips. I'm happy with this. Let's run it. Without Teferi or a good planeswalker like that to draw us extra cards each turn, we might have some trouble with this deck. We'll see what happens. We'll just have to get the most out of each of our cards. I like this hand a lot. Turn 1 Tameo, great way to start. Our opponent's ramping up. You get up to 5 mana for next turn. Do I really want to play my wedding announcement? I don't think I do. I wanted to keep up mana for 3 steps ahead in case he played something that was big. 5 mana is enough to cast some pretty game-breaking spells. So I'm just going to keep attacking with Tamiyo, keeping up counter spells, till I can double spell with the wedding announcement. I don't love that, but I don't really want to counter it. You know what? This is going to be worth countering. Because I get to hold up this spell snare in case he has another true drop removal spell. I'm going to draw more cards with Tamiyo, and I have this House Meld to deal with anything he resolves. He has 6 mana. If it's a Grave Titan, well, it's going to be mine soon. Ooh, that's pretty good. I can still kill that with Get Lost, though. Doesn't have reach, right? No reach, so I can attack. I can hit Nissa for 0. Take that, Nissa. Probably Get Lost to Nissa. Play the wedding announcement. I can keep up Horned Lockwhale and Spell Snare instead. I don't really want to have to use my removal on that 3/3. All right, got my wedding announcement. That's pretty strong. Cool. That's something that we can house meld. I don't have a ton of creatures to get back, but House Meld will be pretty good here. I could also get rid of that forest, but he's going to be able to cast Nissa either way. Decisions. Torrential Gearhulk will be pretty good here. Overlord will be a little bit oh wait, I can't bring this back? Non-avatar. Okay, I can't take it back. No. See, he attacks with Nissa. I might have to block with Tamiyo. I don't need another clue right now, so I'll just keep that up. He won't be able to cast that Bristlebud Farmer now. And now I can just kill Nissa with this Get Lost. Bristlebud Farmer is kind of annoying. I did it on my turn so he doesn't get the double mana next turn. Ooh, the party tree. Spell Snare is pretty good here. Countering that Sorin. That puts us in a good spot. We can actually resolve this Horned Lockwhale and then draw a card with a clue. Okay. Well, now I probably don't play the Lockwhale since I have a counterspell to use. Keep him from getting his Naturalize. At least for a turn. What can we do here to not lose? Our opponent's drawing lots of cards. We're kind of running out of cards. Just attack with flyers, I suppose. He's going to have that Naturalize next turn. He's going to have the Naturalize from the Wingbane Bantasaur. I might need this to block with. Yeah, because if he puts a map counter... Or no, he doesn't have any more map tokens. Well, these aren't map tokens. I thought he had more. Oh, wow. That's powerful. And he gets a Savage Stomp. Yeah, we're going to need to top deck something good here. Probably Wrath of God. Unless we're just dead. No, he has to spend the extra mana for Ward to kill that. I don't think we're dead yet. But we are certainly close. I guess I could just block here to not take damage and then not give him a naturalized target. That's a food. He only had 1 mana. I could have double blocked it. I thought he had another way to produce a 2nd mana for that Naturalize. I have this Settle the Wreckage, which could be pretty strong here. He still has the Titan of Industry to follow up with, though, so I'm definitely not in the best position. Yeah, that's a lot of Wingbane Vantasaurs, even with Settle the Wreckage. Had I not blocked with that Tameo, I'd be at 4. And he might have just been able to kill me last turn with what he had. And I might have drawn a few more cards. That Springheart Nantuko was quite good. Make a couple 1/1s with the Nantuko. Yeah, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. That Springheart Nantuko was too good. Okay. I liked what our deck was doing. I didn't like running out of cards. I want to play this Brain Surge over this Tidebinder. Or maybe over this Interrupter. Interrupter wasn't that good. I mean, it slowed him down, but... Shauna's Tidebinder gives you more interaction on board. Having Terra Sunder for that wedding announcement was a pretty huge switch for the game, because I had to go more defensive, and if I had been able to resolve or get just one blocker with that wedding announcement, things would have been different. I feel like Warzone Duplicator with my Restoration Angel is a combo maybe I should be leaning into. But I know Duplicator's not that great. Because if it's a creature you want a copy of, it's not likely you want to be returning it to your opponent's hand. He probably has a good ETB. I have enough ways to draw cards in this deck, I guess is the question, and I'm not sure that I really do. I don't have any like steady sources of card advantage. So having something like Brain Surge is certainly helpful. The question is, do I want the Tidebinder or do I want that Aven Interrupter? And I think I'd rather have the Interrupter, so let's run this. Getting our fill of the cube before it's gone. Foundations has some excellent nostalgic feels. Great reprints. Feels like a solid core set. Now, this hand is tempting because I have an Evangelist in it, but I want both my colors of mana. And it looks like I'm not going to get them, so... I'm gonna draw. I really want to be able to copy this restoration, this unidentified hover ship with Resto Angel, so we'll see. kill Zimone. That was a nice top deck. Alright, Sanguine Evangelist. Give us some kind of board presence. And then this hover ship could take out whatever big thing he plays next. Okay, he just cast it as an enchantment. That's kind of annoying. I don't care so much about hover shipping that twitching doll, but I think I should. Get in some attacks, and the next turn I have Resto Angel to do some cute things with the hover ship at instant speed. The hover ship cannot abduct Uro. Noted. Wow, this guy's ramp deck is awesome. Okay, my opponent gets a Blossoming Tortoise. I'm tempted to play this Resto just to get the flyer on board. No, that's something I actually want to kill. And Miglaws, does he have the mana to kill artifacts or enchantments? Not yet. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. So, I'll animate this. Alright, so my opponent's going to manifest Dread here. We'll get rid of their Overlord. We'll have some attackers in the air. He'll have Uro, though, so we're going to be in trouble if we don't come up with an answer to that. Yeah, that's a pretty decent answer. I can counter the trigger from Uro when he attacks. I can make a copy of my hover ship with the Sublime Epiphany even to get rid of something else. That's cool. Maybe just make a copy of Restoration Angel to do the hover ship thing again. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, my opponent's gaining a lot of life, so I might just let them get in and attack with Uro if they don't cast a spell. I'm afraid of what my opponent might have here. Oh, we didn't attack with the tortoise? I don't like that very much. I wonder what's in his hand. I think returning Uro here instead of letting him draw a card is probably the best way to do things. Am I going to use the unidentified hover ship to get rid of the tortoise, or am I just going to blink the evangelist with the extra resto? I guess I just blink the evangelist with the extra resto. I wonder what's under that face down card. Could be something devastating. Could be something devastating. I really don't want to make a bad block on that face down card. If I block with Resto Angel and he flips it over to something huge. Oh, Elder Gargaroth. Man, he's got so many big life-gainy threats. Oh, that's pretty decent. Okay, well. Huh. I want to play this Flood Pits Drowner to tap his Elder Gargaroth before I attack. I'm not really worried about settling the wreckage right now. I can attack for a lot in the air right now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to tap down that Gargaroth so that I can attack for a bunch in the sky. And I have this Horned Lock Whale to potentially keep me alive. If my opponent has some sort of strong attacks. He takes 7. Goes down to 12. He loses both of his flying blockers. We get another flyer. Okay. He just needs one more card in the graveyard for Uro now. But we have this Horned Lock Whale and let's settle the wreckage. So hopefully we can just win with flyers. I'm not going to use the Lock Whale on that tortoise. The tortoise is definitely fueling his Uro play, though. Why does he keep making foods? I guess he just made a few foods from the Gilded Goose. Wow. Any reach? No reach. What's he got? Soul Seer. It definitely slows down our clock. He would have been to 1. Well, we'll see how this works. He's going to gain a bunch of life with a row in the Gargaroth. Settle the wreckage is pretty good here. Getting rid of Uro and Ansrag. I didn't get rid of the Elder Gargaroth. My opponent was smart enough to not attack with it. Now he's got a Bonnie Paul. Whew, that's not what we wanted to see. Bonnie Paul's a pretty good play here. Look at all those creatures. My opponent doesn't have any cards left in their deck. So let's see if I can survive. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Oh no, this goes them back on top of their library. And then he does draw a card. Ooh, I could have blocked it a little. No. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this trample damage is a little too much. I couldn't have taken the trample damage and dealt with everything else. So that's going to have to go on top of his deck. And then he manifests Dread when this unidentified hovership dies. So he goes back to having no cards in his deck. Yes, yes indeed. Our opponent milled and drew far too many cards, it looks like. Good game, friend. Got him. What a game. Wow. That was awesome. My opponent did so well, they used all their cards and had nothing left. Alright, well that experience makes me like a Tidebinder, though it just like turns Shieldred into a 4/5, or it turns Uro into a 6/6, so it's not like that devastating of an effect. That Brain Surge was a great draw when we got it. That was a great game. 1-1. White-blue control. It's not quite as exciting as playing like a red-white deck and just flaging all over the place, but see if we can do that in our next draft. That was a good hand. Opponent goes first, so we've got our Spell Snare to counter their 2-drop. Woohoo! It's about as good as it gets with Spell Snare. It's like we're having a little control mirror. How much do I care about a dissection tools? I guess I could just get lost it next turn and still have a counterspell. I don't really care about that. I'm gonna let that resolve. Okay, I can unidentified hovership that thing and leave up my make disappear. We get a Verdant Dread. Okay. Interesting. My opponent's going to manifest Dread twice with that. pretty powerful. I guess I'll just hit one of them with the hover ship. I do have the option of get lost here to kill one of them. I have a lot of cards in hand. Yeah, next turn if I draw a card and then play a card, I'll have to discard another card. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this and not be very happy about it. Yeah. I just have too many cards in hand. Otherwise I'm going to have to discard, so might as well use it. Oh, there we go. It's the kind of thing I want to counter. Nice. Nothing on board to win with. Gitrog. I just want to settle that. I'd like to actually get more value out of this card. Yeah, I'm just going to let that resolve. I'm going to settle the wreckage that. Keep up my Sublime Epiphany. I don't care about the Gitrog, what is that? Ravenous Ride resolving. I'm sure there's going to be something I care a lot more about my opponent resolving. We would certainly benefit from a few more creatures to use. I would like to counter that. I wonder if my opponent has Spell Pierce. Nope. We're going to let Titan of Industry resolve because, well, we don't have any other choice. Yeah, I wish I could blink the hover ship with Resto, but I need a creature on the board to do it. Titan of Industry is a great card to be house melding. He kept Lotus Cobra on top. I guess he just wants creatures. Gonna make a 4/4 Rhino and destroy his tools. Nice. House Meld. Really good. We've been picking apart our opponent's game plan meticulously. We countered some of their biggest spells. We dealt with some of the other ones. Kogla's big. Kogla kills that. This Resto looks like gets a free kill here. And I've got Unable to Scream for that Kogla. And we'll see if we can win with the Resto Angel. Another play I could have done is not block with the Resto Angel, untapped in Wrath of God, and then just kept up the Unable to Scream for whatever he resolves next. But I wanted to start putting pressure, I wanted to start putting pressure on the board, so that's why I wanted to fly her out. And I'm not that afraid of Lotus Cobra, so I'll just hold the Wrath in case it becomes useful later. Mockingbird. Wow, that's strong. Very good. Probably doesn't attack with the Cobra. Kogla just kills Spirited Companion, but oh well. Alright. Yeah, I don't want that attacking me. I don't want that at all. We've run out of cards. Oh, that's a really good one from our opponent. Well, that's a really good one for us. Coming in with the Bristle Butler. There's that Tear Asunder I was hoping to see him try and play. What happened to all of his other things? What happened to Kogla or Nissa or Atraxa? Wormcoil Engine. What a permanent card from among them. Ah, I see. Yeah, I think I'm fine with him resolving a Twitching Doll. Good game, Snapcaster Sage. Whew, that was a good one. That was very control-y. Very fun. And it's fun to take a control seat sometimes. Stopping your opponent from resolving any spells that matter. That was a good game. That was down to the last card. Our opponent lost their patience for our control tricks. And we had Overlord, so we were probably going to win. Untapping and attacking with that definitely would have been the game. 2-1 with this white-blue control. White-blue Skies is the deck to be playing in Foundations. Looks very strong with Healer's Hawks and Spectral Sailors. I'm excited to be playing some Sealed Foundations tomorrow. This hand looks keepable. Ooh, Overlord makes it a little bit better. Something to play on turn 4. We don't have a threat-heavy, threat-dense deck, so it's nice to have one in hand. As we saw last game, we were just sitting there with a bunch of control cards for turn after turn. It'll be nice to get something out earlier this time. Potentially. It doesn't look like we're playing it now, though. Control versus control. That's a nice top deck. It'll just give us a double spell soon. And I don't want to have to use 3 steps ahead as my only counterspell if I don't have to. I didn't want to draw that. I was hoping for a land there. I suppose I'll pass. Opponent has 5 mana. What can they resolve that would be too much to deal with? I don't think so. I'm going to play Aven Interrupter to get rid of that Retrofitter Foundry. I don't want him to be able to use his mana every turn in this control war. Retrofitter is a good card in control versus control. You just get to make so many creatures use your mana at the end of their turn. And I left up 2 mana that looks like another counterspell, so... Oh yeah, he's afraid to cast anything else? Because it looked like I had counterspell mana. I'll take it. I can actually draw some cards with the 3 steps ahead. If he casts a spell, that is. I'm probably just going to play the Sanguine Evangelist and keep up 3 steps ahead next turn. Alright. Now we get to play this Evangelist. I think it's very likely he tries to counter it. No. Alright. Our opponent's letting things resolve. Perhaps he has a burn down the house or a pyroclasm effect of sorts. I think that's fine. I have counter spells, bounce spells, kill spells. Now I have this 1/1 flyer instead of a 2/2 flyer. So I'm still doing okay on board. I don't want to tap out and let my opponent resolve anything crazy. With 1 more mana, I can impend the Overlord with a counter spell up. With only 1 blue mana, there aren't any hard counters my opponent could have. Retrofitter Foundry lets him do some stuff. Should I let him make the 1/1? I think so. I'm going to let him spend mana to make a 1/1 if he wants to. He can sacrifice his servo to make a 1/1 flyer with it. Doesn't look like that's his plan. And now the tough part is, I think I just cast this with Impending. Leave up my counter spells. Now the downside here is if he does try to counter it and I counter back, then he might just have a board wipe to take out all of my flyers. And then I'm kind of back where I started. But at least I have the Overlord on the board. Oh, it resolves? Wow. What is my opponent doing over there? I mean, we knew that they didn't have any hard counters with just 1 blue mana, so... I was expecting like a Make Disappear that was copied, casualtied. He must have a board wipe with Counterspell to back it up. Hey, look, a Pyroclasm. I mean, I'm going to try to counter that. I want him to play another card. And I have answers to things, so... This will be better than just letting him Pyroclasm. There we go, there's Confounding Riddle. He totally could have done it, but he had the Pyroclasm instead. But the good news is, I have Overlord of the Mistmoors out now, so really, mission accomplished. I guess I don't need to keep counterspells up if I don't have them, so I might as well just curve out. This looks pretty good. Wedding announcement with the Overlord. We have some board presence. And it's better than just a Retrofitter Foundry, I would say. I really wanted to draw a card from this wedding announcement. I was also hoping he might use his Retrofitter Foundry to make a 4/4 and block with that, but... oh well. He had the mana. He had the mana to sacrifice a servo, make a Thopter, untap, and then sacrifice a Thopter, make a 4/4. And it was only going to cost him 4 mana to do so. I thought he might try it. one didn't do anything. Just gonna win with that Retrofitter Foundry. I don't have an answer for it. I don't have anything to do here now, so we're just gonna pass. I got the card that I wanted from Wedding Announcement. Now I have some creatures. He can make another 1/1 flyer, and then he can make a 4/4. Bit of a snooze fest. I have a fading hope to bring back my Overlord, possibly, if he tries to kill it. I do like the idea of just recasting it. He didn't have a counterspell. Well, he didn't use a counterspell before. Yeah, I mean, if he tries to kill it, I'll return it to my hand. We'll see if he has an answer. I think I just want this 6/6 out. "7/7", we'll call it. Hey dude, what you got? Hey dude, what you gonna do with that loot tree? He's gonna do something fancy with loot tree. Ooh, what a top deck. What a top deck. I'm just gonna attack with the teams. I don't care if he gets one of my 2/2s with his 4/4. That's a lot of damage. Fading Hope looks good here. Will Sublime Epiphany work here? Am I worried about Sublime Epiphanying? I actually don't think so. Okay. Now, I don't have a counterspell for a big board wipe, but I can't think of anything that deals 7 damage around. Everyone has so many cards in their hand. I wonder what they're doing, or what they're planning, or what those cards even do. Burn down the house with Lutri to copy it? Ah, okay. Atali. I don't have Sublime Epiphany to counter that. Burn down the house. Pretty solid. And he has Lutri to copy it. Is he going to? No. He didn't copy it. He could have. He might have a removal spell for the Overlord. Good game. Good game, hey dude. Alright, well, that was interesting. Our opponent passed. I don't know, they just kept using the Foundry instead of playing any cards. So, we had good answers for their Foundry plays. Game, 3-1. Keep it going. Can't play Foundations yet. But I did 2 sealed pools this weekend, and I'm going to do a draft tonight with some friends. My first Foundations draft. That'll be really fun. And then tomorrow, I'll be on as early as noon, maybe even earlier, to just do Foundations sealed. Yeah, this hand looks okay. Interested to see what the breakout colors are going to be in Foundations. I really like how White Blue Skies looks with all of your cheap flyers and flash creatures. Things like Felidar Savior at common to pump up your flyers and have a lifelinker on the ground to win the race. So I like the way white looks a lot in Foundations. From what I can tell, red looks a little bit weaker than some of the other colors. Its commons just aren't as pushed. Prairie Survivalist is pretty strong. We have an interrupter to block it or to counter whatever he plays. We'll see. I guess I do want to counter that. Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna Brain Surge now. Maybe. I'd rather keep my opponent guessing a little bit. It'd just be nice to be able to play another blue source here. Oh well, I'm gonna leave up the blue to just make it look like maybe I have Wandering Emperor. Just keep him guessing. Prairie Survivalist is ticking up fast. Alright, Enduring Innocence will survive. It might be a card that we hit with Unable to Scream. Or, sorry, it might be a card that we house meld, because we actually have a bunch of 2-power creatures in our deck to draw off of that. Yeah, I do want to house meld that Enduring Innocence. Keep up a Fading Hope, I guess. So let's put down Unable to Scream, and won't be able to play Spirited Companion yet, so let's put that down. We'll put Spirited Companion on top, and then I can just house meld that Enduring Innocence. I'm going to take some damage here, but I have Wrath of God with a Fading Hope back up next turn. Like no hasters to flip the Legion's Landing with. Yeah, I think Wrath of God makes the most sense here. I have other answers for the rest of the things in his deck. Keep him from flipping Legion's Landing, keep him from getting any more Prairie Survivalist triggers. Oh, look at this. That's pretty strong. Seven's Reclamation, copy to bring back 2 more things. Undo my Wrath of God. Return that. Yeah, that's probably going to be good for me. To draw 2 cards off this Spirited Companion. Oh, Tamiyo. I'd like Tamiyo to draw me another card, but it doesn't look like she's going to. I'm gonna have to take some damage from Lutri here. Might have to take some damage from a couple things here. I wanted him to make the treasure so that he could play Prairie Survivalist and attack with it next turn. I'm just going to kill... I'm just going to kill this Magda. I might be able to crack a map token next turn. No, that doesn't make much sense. Yeah, he's going to use that 2 mana to crack the clue instead. I can draw a couple cards. Yeah, I mean, Spell Snare might actually just be good against this opponent. We really need it right now. I'm gonna keep it on top. Demio looks like a good blocker. Maybe he'll be taken off guard by this Settle the Wreckage. Oh, he just put 1 power on Lutri. That's why he did that pre-combat. Oh. Okay. Well, now I think I'm just going to get lost that Adeline. I think my opponent might 7's Reclamation, back Adeline and Magda. Nice, nice. Alright, no attacks there. And then he 7s to get back both of those creatures so that our Settle the Wreckage works next turn. Oh, yeah. I would like to block that extra 1/1 instead of letting him get an extra land. Oh wow, Resto Angel to save his Adeline? That is strong. Well played, opponent. Okay. Nice. That Settle the Wreckage was very good, but our opponent has a huge Resto Angel now. Sublime Epiphany and Spell Snare. Unable to Scream. We definitely have answers for what they have on board, but not great ones. Perpetual adds it around. Wow. Okay. So I just counter that with Sublime Epiphany, make a copy of Tameo, return Adeline to his hand now. So he gets an extra 1/1 to attack with, or I just do it after he attacks, and that doesn't really help me. So yeah, I'm just going to counter that because I see what he's drawing next, and I can't imagine he'll play it pre-combat. But I get that ETB from Enduring Innocence. Oh no. Oh no. What have I done? What have I done? I was already at my end step. I didn't think that was going to flip there. That's, my opponent needs to add 1 power to the board to win. That's pretty funny. It would have been nice to just have Tameo as a blocker. Either way, he would have had an extra 1/1 to attack in with, depending on when I decided to get rid of Adeline, whether it was in that counter or pre-combat. Do I have Wrath of God anymore? No, it's gone. Well, let's just dig a bit. We're probably dead. We did our best. Yeah, I get it. You have creatures. Alright. Good game. Good game. That Restoration Angel in response to Settle the Wreckage was really, really powerful. Great counter, opponent. Great counter. Alright, we're 3-2 with our white-blue control. We did our best. I can't think of anything we could have done differently that game. We played that really well. Top decked a few too many lands in the end of the game, and our opponent just had great answers. Perpetual getting around that unable to scream doesn't really make any sense. That seems like something that they should fix. If it's no longer the creature that it was before, it shouldn't have the power and toughness changes. That doesn't make sense to me. Brain Surge. Brain Surge looks okay here. Not my favorite 2-drop to see when I don't have a counterspell on my, or a card to see on top of my deck when I don't have a counterspell, but that was a nice top deck. You get the Brain Surge here. Alright, that's nice. Alright, what can we put on top here? Your Hulk and a Plains. Any chance I'm going to be shuffling my deck? There we go. My opponent has 4 black mana. I'm just going to play Overlord of the Mistmoors. I have answers for whatever they play next turn. 4 mana with black means they could resolve Sheoldred, but I could just House Meld Sheoldred, and that sounds hilarious. Okay, nice. That was cool. Toxic Deluge for X equals 1. I mean, that's, he killed my flyers. He didn't draw any lands. Oh, sorry, Snarfer. Alright. Well, we take those. 4-2. Sometimes it happens to us. Sometimes we get bad draws. Rarely keep hands like that, but it happens too. I mean, I can't imagine that that hand was a very good one, whatever our opponent kept. They did have 4 draws to find something, but if all they had to play was 3 swamps and a Toxic Deluge, well, that is quite a risky keep. Alright. We have a 2-mana counterspell. We have a hover ship. Ow! I can't kill that. I can make it get lost right now. But I think I'm more interested in letting him get 1 trigger off of it if he doesn't cast a spell, and then just hover shipping the following turn. Yeah, I'm gonna get lost on this. Johnny is powerful. Tamio's pretty good here. All right, I'll take it. I could use Tamio to just counter the Ajani, but I don't think I need to. I have this hover ship. Oh no, I couldn't have even used it. He had 4 mana to pay. Yep, it's a good answer. Whenever one or more cats die. So I can exile the token with the hover ship, and then he doesn't get a manifest red. But he has a 3/2. I guess either way it's a 3/2. Now the hover ship makes a better blink target for my resto. And it's a fine blocker. It would have been nicer to house meld like a big creature like Grave Titan or something, but I think I should get rid of this. Nice. All right, so now we have blockers. We have make disappearers. This is a 2/1 enchantment that can die. It has an effect when it dies. I wonder if that goes off even though it's an enchantment. Wow. What a rip from our opponent. That is going to be really hard to beat. Dang. Yeah, I don't know how I can beat Smuggler's Copter here. That's absurd. What a top deck from our opponent. I don't want him to see my hand or take anything from it. Well, at least I can Wrath of God here. And, I mean, he might have more stuff, but he didn't. He didn't have more stuff. Hey. There may be a chance. Oh. That's a good top deck. I like to see that. Yeah, that's gonna die. Oh, what a counter. That is awesome. So I want to return Wedding Announcement to my hand so that I get more tokens out of it. Or do I want to make him bounce that? You know? No, I'm just gonna bounce that, I think. Huh. I don't think he has another 2-drop to play. I'm going to return my wedding announcement to my hand because I want to draw more cards and get more tokens. And I don't think he has a creature to crew the Smuggler's Copter with. Nice. Now we have to settle the wreckage too. We're going to draw 3 cards off a wedding announcement over 3 turns. Alright, this is looking good. Oh, we dealt with all our opponent's good creatures. Now they're just... Oh, that's awesome. Good game. Got him. Got him. And we could have had somewhat of a game still there. They were not putting up with it. Good game. Good game. What are we, 5-2 now? All right. These have been some really good control matchups and games in general. Let's see if we can claim our trophy. Go 7-2. All right. This is a keepable hand. We have the good poop, the good Peppadog. You know, if my opponent plays a Thieving Aven next turn, I have the hover ship to deal with it. Countering it. That's a good way to get rid of my opponent's Make Disappear. Oof. Of all the cards. Or welcoming Vampire on the board after... Okay. I guess playing the Spirited Companion was a bad idea. It let my opponent resolve a threat, and I shouldn't have allowed him to do that. I could have curved out better by holding on to the Make Disappear to counter his 3-drop. Spirited Companion was not a 2-drop I needed to get on board. That was a mistake. These have been long games so far today. Interesting. I think I want to play Overlord of the Mistmoors next turn. Keep up Spell Snare. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And I want the tap land to be on top, I think. Or wait, am I going to be at 5? I'm 5 mana this turn, so... I'll draw that. Okay, so here we go. I can play Overlord and keep up the Spell Snare in case he has a 2-drop counterspell. Save Settle the Wreckage for another time. I want it to look less obvious. He pegged me for Settle the Wreckage last turn. Or maybe it was Wandering Emperor he thought I had. One of the two. He didn't want to attack with the vampire. Do I care about Lion Sash? It does prevent me from Torrential Gear Hulking. And if he wants to draw a card off the vampire, well, now he has to play another creature. I think I'd rather just take 2. Alright, now I have Settle the Wreckage and make Disappear up. Or the Gear Hulk. I don't think the Gear Hulk's going to be right, but... let's see what my opponent tries to do. That is a big one. I probably don't want that to resolve. I really don't want that to resolve. So I'm going to casualty 1 this thing and counter that. And then maybe my opponent will be tempted to attack him with the vampire. And that's enough incentive for me to Settle the Wreckage here. It's going to thin our opponent's deck, which is not the best for us, but at least we have this Gear Hulk and the Overlord, and our opponent doesn't have a counter spell in their hand, so maybe it's a removal spell. That could be a good card to just have in the graveyard for the Gear Hulk. I'm going to leave it on top. I'll trade off with that or Apparition if he wants to. I'd rather not take any more damage. Do I just Brain Surge here? Nah. I'll just pass. I want some counterspell mana to save my Overlord in case he tries to kill it. Overlord can run away with the game. I don't need to get Torrential Gearhulk and draw a bunch of cards. I want to keep that guy alive. And I only need to do it for this turn. I think my opponent's sandbagging a land, but they did draw a card this turn. I can make disappear with casualty by sacrificing this guy to make him pay 4. There we go. Get to keep our Overlord alive for a turn. Power less than the creature. He could have gotten back. It wouldn't have hit anything, actually. Oh well. Well, now we have removal and big creatures. Should be good enough to close out the game. Let's see what our opponent comes up with. Good game. Good game. All right. Started off 3-1, 3-2. I think we lost our first game. 6-2. Let's see if we can get a trophy. This deck's sweet. This hand looks good. And I'm on the draw to get value with that Spell Snare. Why did he look at his top card? Oh, to decide whether or not he wants to crack the Foothills. That's smart. That's very smart. I'm going to keep that on top. I just want as many lands as I can get early with this deck. Okay. Steam Core Scholar. I'm tempted to just play my Wedding Announcement then. I'm tapped out for my opponent's 4 mana play. I don't have a ton to come back at it with, but 4 mana is not usually a hot button number for the blue-red deck. Sometimes they can get Chandra or Jace out there, but a little bit more rare to see in the good decks. Chandra's good. Okay. Well, we'll just pass. It'll be tempting to settle the wreckage next turn when my opponent attacks, but I don't think that's going to be very good. Give him 2 more lands for those 2 creatures. He's going to get a clue from Tamiyo to begin with. That was interesting. And I'm afraid to settle while he has open mana. mainly. Not only do I think the result would be catastrophic, but I'm not even sure it would result. Ooh, that's nice. I like to see that. Okay, now I want to settle the wreckage instead of using Spell Snare on that. See if it works. I'll see my 1 mana, think, oh, let's, okay, all right, cool. We got rid of those. We have Spell Snare. Our opponent is going to have a lot of mana to use this turn, regardless of those additional lands I've given them. Maybe they just want to play a bunch of 2-drops. Probably not. They can play something expensive here, something that costs 6, maybe 7 if they play another land. Or no, did they play the Flooded Strand this turn? Yeah. I'm going to return Oracle of the Alpha because if he wants to play another one, then he's just going to have a million Moxes in his deck, and that's not going to be very good. I do want a land for next turn, so I can play Spell Snare and Torrential Gearhulk. But I don't really want to keep that land on top. We are running out of cards, so let's hold back. If our opponent decides to play the Oracle next turn, we have Floodpit's Drowner. If they play something big, we have 3 steps ahead. I imagine he'll be hesitant. Oh, he's going to play it again. All the Moxes. Do I care about Proft's Eidetic Memory? I don't think that I do. Yeah, there's a Mox. I mean, he's going to draw a lot of Moxes. He really has no other option. There's 18 Moxes he had to his deck. I mean, there's like, or not 18 Moxes, sorry, 10 Moxes. So, I mean, a third of his deck is Moxes right now. We got a Floodpit's Drowner. Tap down the Oracle. I'm going to counter that Spell Snare. Yes. Oh, my opponent has more. Oh, they're just gonna draw a card. Okay. Yeah, and our opponent's dead in 2 turns. We've got some good backup here. Yeah, another Mox. What do you know? Ill-timed explosion. Don't do that. Yeah, that's gonna be good. What else do they have? Wow. Yeah, that is pretty good. Do I want to play this Resto Angel so that I have a creature out now before he draws into another counter spell? I gotta keep up Spell Snare in case he draws Time Walk. There are 2 in his deck after all, and he's getting close. Yep. Oh. Well, I do need that land now. So now I have the Torrential Gear Hulk to copy a Spell Snare for free, but I don't know, I can't block his Oracle. I can't cast that 3 steps ahead. Yes! Holding on to that Spell Snare my whole freaking life. Oh, jeez. He has another Time Walk, though. And he can get it with the Thunder Trap Trainer.
Yeah, mic check, 1, 2.
Well, Time Walk without those 2 creatures is going to be a lot less valuable. So let's just settle the wreckage here. And if our opponent decides to not kill the Gear Hulk, we have Resto Angel. Thundertrap Trainer with Offspring will definitely give them the Time Walks. They could look at the top 8 card. Well, definitely is a strong word there. Very good chance. More interested in killing the Torrential Gear Hulk, and I do not blame him. I'll gladly give it all, cause this is why I'm alive. Take it in stride, should I watch the time go by? Plotting the perfect moment to open my third eye. Rise above it all like the morning sun in the sky. Just wanna share my light so my legacy never dies. Yeah. Good draw from our opponent. Top deck Time Walk. We had to get rid of their creatures. Nothing we could have done about that particular one. Oh wow. Time Twister. My opponent gonna play Time Twister? Hopefully not. Game will never end. Well, actually, the Time Twister is probably better for me since his life total is so low. Though he does have like twice my active mana. At least. He's got access to like 15 mana compared to my 7. My opponent just tapped out to do that, but they have another turn. Yeah, but now we have spells to play. So there's that. Our opponent has redrawn all of their counter spells. That is so many cards to put on with Profs. What if he gets another turn? Another turn. I know my opponent has Spell Snare. I know my opponent has all sorts of... Oh no, let's see. Spell Snare's gone. They have Make Disappear too. I think I have to do it now. Yeah, double Time Walks will do it. Sapphire Collector plus Time Walk. He can continue taking lots of turns with the Collector. That was a good game. Our opponent went way over the top drawing all those cards after playing Oracle. That was a close game. Our opponent just had one too many extra turn spells. Good game. 6-3. That was a good draft. Let's see. I have time for one more draft. I won't be able to finish the actual games, but totally draft. Maybe take a red-white deck. See how many games we can finish in an hour. Took about 2.5 hours for that one. But white-blue control deck's a little bit slower. We'll take 6-3. Not as well as I'd like to be doing, but can't win them all. Alright, pack one, pick one. What's our first pick? Is it Sheoldred? There's also Kaito, and I know Kaito's pretty good, but not as good as... he's just like really good as a multicolored card. There's dual lands here like Xander's Lounge. There's an Overlord of the Flood Pits, a Day of Judgment. I'm more interested in just first picking Sheoldred, looking at all these other cards. There's also Hellrider. That card's really good, but I don't like to take it this early, especially if I don't know I'm playing red. This is a card to wheel in your red-white decks pretty consistently. I'm going to take Sheoldred. I think it's the best card in this pack, and it's good in cube. I see the Zagoth Triome. I also see these cards that look good in a black-red deck. Legion Warboss, Screaming Nemesis. I wonder how well Tiny Bones actually performs. I feel like he can't be that good as a 1-drop 1/1. Soul Conscript, there's Bastion of Remembrance. And those are cards we look to wheel. There's a Midnight Clock, which is kind of a ridiculous card with Sheoldred. And blue-black is a nice color pair to be in. But I don't think Midnight Clock is good enough to warrant taking this early. So it's between the Screaming Nemesis and the Legion Warboss. Maybe I just hope the Legion Warboss comes around. Screaming Nemesis could be really good in our black-red deck. You know, I'm going to have to take the Warboss because it makes 1/1s. And in black-red, you want 1/1s to be able to sacrifice to things like your Priest of Forgotten Gods and the like. See Lord Skitter, Sewer King. I also see a Zealous Conscripts in this pack. Zealous Conscripts is quite good. It just steals your opponent's best creature, puts a ton of power on the board, just closes out games really consistently. Over a Lord Skitter. Lord Skitter is quite good. Lord Skitter also fits our theme of making 1/1s. Could we wheel that Bastion of Remembrance for this black-red deck? Just take Zealous Conscripts because it's a little bit better, and then hope Lord of Skitter wheels. I'm going to take Lord Skitter. It fits our theme pretty well. Okay, and Sanguine Evangelist is very good. We could consider moving towards white. There's also a Grave Titan in this pack, though I'm not sure how awesome Grave Titan really is in this set. I'm also looking at this Forsaken Miner. Maybe this Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Yeah, it's not that good. Mostly looking at Grave Titan or the Sanguine Evangelist. If I hadn't taken Lord Skitter, the Zealous Conscripts, Legion Warboss, and Sanguine Evangelist would look really good for red-white. I think I'm going to take Sanguine Evangelist here over that Grave Titan. This card's really good. I want to be playing white if I can. Ooh, Falconwrath Aristocrat for our black-red deck. That card is strong. Over Chandra Torch of Defiance, though. I guess we could wheel the Aristocrat. We're probably more likely to wheel like a Bristlebud Farmer and something else. I don't know if Chandra's going to be quite as good as the Falconwrath Aristocrat, actually. Yeah, let's just see if I can kill people with the Aristocrat. Raucous Theater over a Homicide Investigator. Homicide Investigators are 2-drop. Those are nice, but we want to take the dual lands whenever we can. There's also this Resto Angel that goes with our Evangelist, but we're just going to take the Theater. Ooh, a Detective's Phoenix. I don't think we're going to wheel this Jadar. We'll probably wheel Head Shredder, which is a bummer because Jadar really fits our theme well. Detective's Phoenix is like one of the best cards in Cube. It's going to get us a lot of wins. I'm going to take Detective's Phoenix. Ooh, Black Cleave Cliffs. I like dual lands in my colors. Hellrider over this Gonti. Yeah, I like Hellrider with these ways to make additional creatures. Wheeling Occult Conscript and a Bastion of Remembrance. Bastion of Remembrance is going to be really good for us. With Lord Skitter and Legion Warboss, but Occult Conscript is a 1-drop. Tiny Bones. Gonna let us cast some free things sometimes. I haven't played with Tiny Bones. I'm just gonna take Cult Conscript over Bastion. I think Bastion would be a cute effect to have, but I'd rather just have some 1-drops to play in this deck. Nowhere to Run seems okay. Sort of. I mean, Politas also just seems okay. Yeah, maybe I just take Nowhere to Run, have some cheap removal. Forsaken Miner. Another 1-drop. Cruelty of Gix. I'm not going to play Cruelty of Gix. I mean, I might. Sometimes it's going to take away a huge card out of my opponent's hand, and then that might be a fine card to curve into with a black-red aggressive deck. Wheeling the Investigator. Turns out Zealous Conscripts with the Falcon Wrath Aristocrat is also pretty good compared to Lord Skitter with Falcon Wrath Aristocrat, but we're happy with the Skitter and the War Boss fueling our Aristocrat on turn 4, fueling our Hell Rider. This looks pretty good so far. We probably should have taken the Grave Titan instead of the Sanguine Evangelist. I think we'll be okay without it. What? What? Wheeling Jadar? Last pick? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Alright. Liliana, Tenacious Underdog. I'm looking at Liliana mainly. I know Tenacious Underdog is really good, but... and it is a 2-drop. And it does fit our aggressive theme. Yeah, maybe I should take Tenacious Underdog here over Liliana. Liliana of the Veil is definitely a good card. But not necessarily what... I mean, we mostly have creatures here. What am I wheeling if I take the Underdog? I've been wheeling things. I think I'm going to wheel the Underdog. I wheeled that Jadar last pick, so... Smuggler's Copter. Card is busted. Really, really good in aggro decks. It's really good with Legion Warboss and Skitter and Jadar. Yeah, we're going to take Smuggler's Copter and feel very good about it. I have a feeling Nowhere to Run will not make it into the deck, but we'll see. Counters all ward and hexproof things for the rest of the game, which is cool. Magda over a cut down. Yeah, Magda also taps for our Copter. Helps us ramp into 4-drops. Magda, great pick. That last pick, Jadar. Oh, man. That's a good sign. That means that the black sacrifice creatures deck is open. There's a good chance we'll see Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I don't think Yawgmoth is in this cube. I think he got taken out, maybe for Kalitas or something else. Yeah, I think Lurrus is actually just going to be good in my deck. I have a lot of 2-drops to play. It's not usually a great card. There's also Mutavault. Mutavault is just fine. Yeah, I'm going to take Mutavault. I think I'll have plenty of playables. I don't need that Lurrus. Mutavault's going to be able to put in some extra damage against a lot of opponents. There's a lot of board wipes in Cube too, so... This is a cheap activated ability for 1. Should be good for us. Here we go. Pylon. That card's awesome. Pylon's really good. You get mana advantage. You can tap down all your little tokens, kill things on your opponent's turn, even when you don't have mana up. Very, very good. This deck looks strong. We could use some more removal. Some go for the throats and the like. We may have already seen that card and passed it. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Oh, man, I can't take this Crucius over Priest. As awesome as Crucius is, I have to take this Priest. It's like one of the cornerstones of this deck. Yeah, maybe we'll wheel Crucius, and if we don't, well, that's fine. Maybe we'll wheel this Soul Shredder. The card seems like it's probably pretty good. In a deck like this, that is. Fear of missing out over a Sky Sovereign or an Emberheart Challenger. Over a Deathrite Shaman. Who likes Sky Sovereign? Sky Sovereign might actually be really good as a top end for this deck instead of a Fear of Missing Out. Fear of Missing Out is definitely good, but we have a bunch of 2-drops, and I think Sky Sovereign is going to be a really good way to top out our curve. Ophiomancer. Ophiomancer is another 3-drop that makes 1/1s. So we're passing Fell and Burn Down the House and Knight of Ebon Legion. It's a bummer to see both of those in there, but oh well. Wheeling the Tenacious Underdog as we planned. Beautiful. We have a lot of 3-power creatures to crew this Sky Sovereign with. I'm going to take a Braid here. A Braid kills artifacts that are pesky. It kills creatures. Taking that over Seasoned Pyromancer. Seasoned Pyromancer seems fine in this deck. I mean, it actually does what we want, but I don't need more creatures. I need some interaction in this deck. Robber the Rich looks okay. It might make it in, it might not. Keep it in for now. The Section Tools actually could be good in this deck. I don't think we're going to play it. We could. We don't have enough instants and sorceries for Young Pyromancer, so I'll just take this Fear of Ridicule, though I don't think it's particularly good. You know what? No, I'm going to take Young Pyromancer in case I get a couple extra instants and sorceries. That's actually a card I can use. I mean, that's actually a card I could probably use, too. Take another 2-drop red hasty guy. Okay, pack 3. I see this Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and I see this Impetuous Lootmonger. I know Fable's really good, but Impetuous Lootmonger is also really good. Yeah, maybe I just take Fable. Fable over the Lootmonger. You're up 2-2 with First Strike, though? It's so good. I'm taking the Lootmonger. I want more 2-drops. Fable's fine, but it's just... yeah, it's fine. I'd rather have a Lootmonger in this deck. Darkstar Augur. That's kind of tempting. Do I have any ways to gain life for Sorin? Doesn't look like a ton. No, mainly draining life. We've got Glorybringer or Darkstar Augur here. I think Glorybringer is probably going to be a good way to close things out. Yeah, I'll take this 5-drop. Also, Long Goodbye. Do we need more? No, I want Glorybringer. Valky, God of Lies. That's a good card. It's Disruption. It's a top end. It's going to be good. It's a creature. Oh man, look at all these dual lands and this Overlord of the Baelmerk. And with these dual lands, I'm running out of playables. I don't know how good Overlord is going to be. I mean, it might put Tenacious Underdog and Cult Conscript and Forsaken Miner into our graveyard. Huh. Can I afford Overlord? Yeah, it's probably going to be good for me. Though, I have to take a dual land. I just need the dual lands. As many as I can get in this deck. I want to be able to cast every spell that I need to. Speaking of good spells to cast, Embercleave is awesome. Golagon's Command. Fatal Push. I didn't wheel the Crucius. So wheeling that Golagon's Command is probably a tall ask. Fatal Push might just be a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to take Fatal Push. Here we go. We have Dragon Wing Glider or a Play with Fire. I don't really want to play Godric. I guess I could play Godric. I actually have a lot of ways to make Godric good. Blood Chief's Thirst here. Yeah, we like the black removal spells over the red one in the over the red ones in your black-red deck. Wheeling an Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. I don't think that's going to make a slot in our deck. Darkstar Augur or Sorin. Good as Sorin. I don't even know. I'd rather just have a Darkstar Augur, maybe. Let's try Sorin. I don't really want to play either of those, so... Let's see, maybe Sorin will make it into the deck. Another dual land over a Chandra. Chandra works really well with Priest of Forgotten Gods and Hellrider. I want this dual land, though. I already have enough playables. Wheeling Kolagon's command. That is excellent. Alright. This black-red deck looks good. Fast, explosive, interactive. I just feel like Soul Shredder with Ophiomancer and Skitter and Warboss and these guys, this card's actually going to be pretty sweet. Yeah, Soul Shredder can get huge and you just keep bringing it back. Can I afford to cut a land here? A somewhat low curve, but... Does that mean I can cut a land? Well, Pylon, it doesn't cost that much. Embercleave's probably only ever going to cost 3. I think cutting a land here is just fine. Alright. Quick bathroom break, and then, yeah, I'll be back to play a couple games before heading out for the night. Be right back. Alright, so we finished our draft here with our black-red deck, and it looks awesome, but it's 5 o'clock. This is the end of my stream, so I'm signing off for the day. I appreciate you being here. GG's, I'm Felonyus, and see you tomorrow for some Foundations drafts. Peace. Mm.